This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, we're here at the Kever in Chust of the Rav Moshe Schick, known as Maharam Schick. They said about him, Mi Moshe ad Moshe like Kam Moshe. From Moshe Sofer, from the Chasam Sofer, to Moshe Schick, Maharam Schick, there was no one like him. As the fellow mentioned, Schick was chosen because in the times of the Melech Oshreich, they made a rule that people had to take on last names, and he was afraid that to take on a secular last name would be a violation of Hashem Elohim Achayim Lo Saskiru, and therefore he chose the name Schick, Shem Yisrael Kodesh. That's where he got the name Schick from. Now, the Maharam Schick said about himself, he was a very weak child intellectually. He had a very limited capacity to remember a block Gemara. It was zeir shver for him to integrate and remember Gemara, but he persevered, and with great amelus and great hasmada. One of the unique cases in history of a gadol who he himself said he did not have the strongest kishroinos, and through his amelus he was zoichet to everything. He married at 14 years old. He came to the yeshiva Chasam Sofer. Chasam Sofer in his yeshiva wasn't lecture style; it was rischal d'oraisa. And Chasam Sofer posed a question, and he asked the Bachar Nu, "What do you say? What do you say?" And nobody gave a satisfactory answer. This little boy, 14 years old, he suggested his approach, and Chasam Sofer was a mihu zeh ve'ezehu. He said his name. Chasam Sofer says, "You're eating with me Matzah Yom Kippur." And from then on, the Chasam Sofer took him in that he should eat with him. The Maharam Schick ate at the house of the Chasam Sofer for 3 consecutive years. Now, the city of Yargen was looking for a Rav. Yargen is near Preshburg. The Chasam Sofer says if you want to be successful, you take Moshe Schick. And that's where he served as a Rav for 20 years. And then he came to Chust, where I believe on the Kever it says he was here for 18 years. Asher Shimish Kilasenu Pai Bekesar Abanas Chai Shanim Be'amuna. He lived 72 years. Now, a few interesting shittas of Maharam Schick. Maharam Schick says, Al Pi Din, a Jew cannot use secular date. You can't write, we're going on the trip in the year 2021. That's a violation of V'Shem Elohim Achayim Lo Saskiru. Who else agrees with that shita? The Sanz Rav. The Rebbe Chaim also said you can't use the secular date. So how do you write a check? You figure it out. But what? There are different eitzas. But the bottom line is, however you write it, they'll accept it. Okay.
Not the 4 digits, the 2 digits. Right?
Just what? Yeah. Okay. Now, Reb Shaul Brach visited the Maharam Schick before his Patira. And at that point of time, the Maharam Schick was very inflamed. In other words, his body was very swollen. And Maharam Schick says, it's kedai for me to live, even without any koiches, just if I'm able to say Kriya Shema once a day. Here we have a picture of Tmunas HaTzadik Maharam Schick. Okay. Now, by the end of the life of the Maharam Schick, who came to visit him? The Yetiv Lev. And the Maharam Schick was very weak. The Yetiv Lev said, well, what are you missing? He said, I'm missing kayach. He says, the pasuk says, V'koyei Hashem Yachalifu kayach. Those who hope to Hashem literally will be invigorated with kayach. But the Yetiv Lev says, Yachalifu is the lashon of chalipin. If you give Hashem bitachon, kaviyah, Hashem b'chalipin will give you kayach. So Maharam Schick wrote a sefer on the mitzvahs, Shas Shuvas Maharam Schick, on the Masechtas, on Haggadah, ala Torah. I want to tell you an interesting shita of Maharam Schick. Maharam Schick was asked, Lagabe, the mitzvah of Zechiras Amalek. Yeah? How often are we making the mitzvah of Zechiras Amalek? Once a year. Why once a year? Zechiras Yitzim time is every day. Shabbos, you have to remember every day. All the other Zechiras are every day. What's Amalek? Once a year. Well, why once a year? So he says, because it says by Amalek, not just remember, it says don't forget. After how much time does a person forget? A mess is forgotten from the heart after 12 months. So the Torah says, not just remember that you don't forget, that means you can't let 12 months go by. So the question is, Oy Bazoi, what are you doing in Ibriyar? So they asked the Chassam Sofer. Chassam Sofer said, in Ibriyar you have to do Mechavein in Parshas Kiseitze, which is coming up now. It's Halacha L'Maisa from the Maharam Schick. Coming up in a few weeks. We're not going to be on this trip forever. We might be on the bus forever. But the trip will come to an end. We're going to start Sefer Devarim. We're going to get to Kiseitze. You be the guy in your shul. You tell the Rav. Don't stop, make an announcement. Tell the Rav, you show the Rav the tshuva of the Maharam Schick. The Chassam Sofer held, and they made an announcement. This year, Kiseitze, everyone should have in Zin to be yotzei the mitzvah of Zechiras Amalek. You don't want to go 12 months without remembering Amalek. So we should be zoicha, all the tefillah should be neskava.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.